Woman, behold your son. Son, behold your mother. Mary cries at the foot of the cross while her son hangs, innocent, beaten, and crushed by injustice and systemic evil. I'd like us to keep in mind that she is not like the rest of the onlookers. She has not only heard of Jesus' miracles and proclamations. She was not rescued and liberated like Mary Magdalene. She doesn't carry guilt for betraying Jesus as did Peter. She did not abandon Jesus the night before, and as did the disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane, and she has not participated in the culture that has condemned him to his cruel and inhumane death. Mary is at the foot of the cross as Jesus' mother, as the one who remembers him moving in her womb, who remembers his first steps, his tantrums, his disappearing acts to the temple, his passion for teaching, preaching, and advocating for the poor and disinherited. Mary is at the foot of the cross, loving him like no other human being in all the earth. And in the same way, her pain is like no others in that space or in all of time. With this in mind, what she must process as she hears now from her beloved son, in my opinion, is quite cold and insensitive. Woman, here is your son, and he says to his disciple, here is your mother. If Mary were anything like my mother, I could imagine her response to this declaration. I suffer the imposed shame of being pregnant out of wedlock to obey the one who sent you. I gave birth to you, I bathed you, I dressed you, I loved you with all of me, and you tell me, woman, here is your son? You are my son. No one can replace you. I think of the many mothers who have lost their sons and daughters in the last 5 years. The mothers of Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland, the worshipers in Charleston, in Egypt, in New Zealand, just to name a few. Mothers who grieve at the foot of the cross of injustice, of racism, of white supremacy, and systemic evil. Mothers grieving, mothers who cannot imagine or care to entertain the possibility of a replacement for the child they have lost. The idea would seem unconscionable to our contemporary ears. And yet, Jesus' words to his mother are words of great compassion and love in the truest sense. We know that in Jesus' time and context, women were maintained by their husbands, and should they widow, their sons would become providers for the home. Scholars suspect that since Joseph was not mentioned in any of the crucifixion narratives, that Joseph was deceased when Jesus speaks these words to Mary. From the cross, Jesus assumes his responsibilities as son and as provider. He loves her. She is mom, and she is daughter of the Most High. She's beloved and will not be disinherited. Jesus will not promise her liberation from her pain and heartache. He will not get off the cross and save himself. She will endure suffering, disappointment, and despair, but he speaks a truth that transcends systemic negotiations. Truth Mary can hear in her soul, in her very spirit, in the womb that held his incarnation. Truth that transcends context, time, and space. Truth she has known for a while and will now hold as true for her. In this world, you will face persecution, heartache and pain. You will endure the sin you've done and the sin that has been done unto you, but take courage. I have conquered the world. I love you. I am your provider. You are not alone. This is what Jesus says to the heartbroken by sin. However, to those who use their power to actively sin against another human being simply because of the color of their skin, Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me, for you are setting your mind not on divine things, but on human things, on human constructs and systems that dismiss and destroy the bodies and souls of my beloved. Confess and repent." And I say this because I love you too. I am your provider. I will not leave you alone. I will be your help and your guide. Follow me.